what's happened to me is not art. It's sexual assault. Particularly the video situation is sexual assault. And no matter who is being threatened with it, it's sexual assault. Just a picture of a naked person is not art. Right? And that's actually true even in situations where the person agreed to pose for the picture and it's not a good picture. I mean, yeah, I guess you can call it bad art. It's not even bad art. What's happened to me? It's just crime. It's crime. It's very coercive, you know, and it is part of the conglomerate. And I think at this point it's the government trying to take control of people's lives in a way that it's not supposed to be doing. Right? It is not democracy. There's no question about that. It is not something that someone could truthfully say should be part of a democratic society. It just isn't. So I wanted to say that first before I started talking about these pictures. That somehow the other night I started thinking about, I started thinking actually first in terms of marketing and how marketing decisions get made by various corporations, that sort of thing, and how you know, specific audiences, specific groups of consumers are what various corporations are thinking about when they design their marketing strategies. And I think I think a lot of what is considered to be like upscale marketing is not just doesn't include black people. It is about white people pretty much. And I started thinking about that, and then I started thinking about just sort of portrayals of people who are not white in the United States particularly, and just from sort of doing a search of the term like African American pictures. I was looking first for pictures, just regular pictures, just to see. I just sort of did some general searches, and then it kind of led me, I think, just kind of naturally to like trying to find out more about like actual like artistic depictions of African Americans. And I found this picture. I'd never even seen a picture like this before. I would think most Americans have not seen a picture like this before. You know, but it's a real painting, and in fact it's not like it's some fictional painting. It's a painting from last century by a black artist, a black male artist who actually was from a black family that had money, and they were the only black family in their neighborhood that did. I mean, they were the only black family in their neighborhood at all, because it was a neighborhood where people had money, and so they were all white people. But I guess I uploaded a number of pictures to my computer, and I'm gonna try to talk about all of them. This was one of them, and in fact, I was somewhat disappointed to find out tonight when I actually looked up the artist that a few of the pictures that I had found were not painted by black people, because they were of people who are not white. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. I think though, I guess. I had so many thoughts when I was looking at these pictures and thinking about these pictures, you know, and I don't even really know exactly, because I wasn't able to just sort of get the pictures to go from one place to another, and I haven't done as much research as I should have. You know, I've kind of given them these names. I mean, I have so many things I have to do. So many just like things I have to do, you know, some of which I get done when I'm supposed to get them done, and some of which I don't. And so I'm sorry about this, because I should have found the names before I looked up the pictures, but I did other types of research about this. Like, so yeah, so this is the painter of that painting, and he did other types of painting. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing is, who sees these pictures? You know, who sees them? They're not just part of like, they're not part of, I think, the way that most people think about black culture. And it doesn't have to be like the defining thought about black culture. It's just that like white culture, there are lots of facets to it, right? It's not just the one thing. It is not just the one. It's not just the one. What I think might happen, what has been happening, I think, in the United States for a long time, is that there are stereotypes that are presented, and then there are stereotypes that are presented like in entertainment, in the media, that sort of thing, and then people actually feel like they have to inhabit the stereotypes in some way, or white people feel like they have to, you know, they are expecting the stereotype or not expecting the stereotype. I mean, from my perspective, black culture is still pretty much invisible in the United States. Something which is, you know, not considered to be really even a part of the primary culture, which I think is mostly white culture. So these are sort of the preliminary thoughts that I started to have about this, and I'm trying to. It was the one thought in particular that I feel like is really important, and I don't really quite know how to say it. The idea of the actual fundamental humanity of any race being able to show through and be understood and be felt by people who are not of that race. I mean, when it's not as much of a difficult transition to think about your own life, and then to be able to feel from a painting, or just from the expression on someone's face, or from a TV show, or whatever it is, feel what somebody else is feeling at the same. The word that's in my mind is level, and maybe I shouldn't say it that way, and yet that's how I'm thinking about it. I mean, I think there's a transition that people always go through when they're trying to explain or understand somebody from another culture, which basically it is. It's like another culture in the United States, I don't think integration has really happened yet. It's like it's not instantaneous, that feeling of like mutual understanding, that feeling of like, this is someone that I can know. I think that the experience of being black in the United States, or just non-white, is profoundly different from a white experience. And I think what often happens is that just kind of doesn't really even get addressed. I don't speak for black culture. I can't, you know, but I don't know that much about it. I think some of the experiences that I've had, and the prejudices that I've experienced, particularly when I was younger, when like being in the hospital and that sort of thing, allowed me. Well, eventually I had to start questioning social constructs, because I wasn't going to be able to live my life the way I wanted to live my life at all, or even try to do that, unless I did start to question social constructs, and that led me to question other types of social constructs, like constructs that have to do with race. You know, I mean, I feel like, what do most white Americans think of when they think of African Americans, or people, or just people who are not white, right? And I don't think that it's an instantaneous, like, immediate understanding, as if like it's, how do I put this? You don't want to ignore that like what it's actually like to be a black person, or just someone who is not white in American culture, and at the same time you want to say, you know, it's not, that doesn't mean that they're less than in some way.